Hey guys, last week I introduced you to the Magic Box project. This guy right here, we went through the prototyping process now, and this week what I want to do is show you guys how to program this motor to move. And if we have time, I might show you how to incorporate a button too, so that we can press a button and then have the box open. So we'll see how that goes. Let's get ready. Alright guys, we are ready to start programming our servo motor. So what we got here, we got our box that we created, and then inside here we have a servo motor, the chopstick that we attached. So the hope is that by the end of today's session we'll be able to control the chopstick so that it can push up on this thing and open it up, and then it would naturally close by itself like that. Just gravity pulling it back down. Alright, so let's go ahead and try this. Now go into my computer. First thing we have to do is install Arduino and ArduBlock, and also this USB driver called CH34X. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and look at the link below. I provided it in the description. There's a link there with the video and also download files, so you can go ahead and do that before you do the lesson. Okay? But once we have it connected and installed, let's go ahead and open up Arduino. So I'm going to open that up. Alright, waiting for it to open. Alright, so then this thing comes up here. Now let's set up the port and the board. Alright, so once this is up, the first thing we have to do is connect our USB cable to the board, and make sure, so I'm going to connect one side over to the hardware, and you probably heard that there's that sound, the dun 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 thing. That means that your computer detected the device. That's for Windows. If it's Mac, you might hear a different sound. If it's Chromebook, you might not hear a sound at all. So if you're not on a Windows, don't worry. If you didn't hear the sound, it still might be working. Alright, but once we have it connected, you'll notice that there's a red light that's on the noggin. Okay, so you want to make sure that's happening so that you know you got power. Now, the other thing we have to check is that the other side of this cable has to be plugged into your computer. Okay, make sure it's in there all the way, it's not halfway in. Okay, so check that out. Once you have that, then you go over on the computer, you go to Tools, you go to the board. This is an Arduino Nano that we want to do, so click Arduino Nano. Then Tools, Processor. So this is a tricky one. You got to go here and click the old bootloader one. Alright, so we click that. And then we set the port. Now right now it says COM3. That's great. If you're using some of our computers from our computer lab, it might have COM1, COM3, COM5, whatever. So the important thing is to make sure you pick the COM that is not 1. So 3 is not 1, so that should work for me. If you're using a Mac or Chromebook, the COM is going to be different. It's going to be like USB WCH something, and that's in the video in the link below. But just keep that in mind. If you're using a Mac or Chromebook, the port here is going to be a little bit different. For Windows, I'm going to pick the COM that is not 1. Okay, boom, there. All right. So now I'm going to click right here, upload, just to make sure that I'm talking to it. It's going to try to say done. Okay, it's done uploading. That's a good sign. That means that now my computer is talking to my noggin over here. Okay. Now I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go split screen because you'll see I got to go to Tools, ArduBlock. And this window comes up. I like to make it split screen because these two screens try to go back and forth and it confuses me, so I'm gonna make it split screen here. Beautiful. I'm gonna give myself a little more room. Beautiful. Alright, so I got a loop here. I'm actually gonna switch things up for us. I'm gonna take out the loop. I want to go to Control, and I want Program. Okay, now inside Program, I want you to notice two things. We have Setup and then Loop. Alright, Setup, whatever code runs inside here only runs one time. Inside loop, whatever code you put here runs over and over again in a loop. All right. So let's do this. Let's program our servo motor, and we'll play with this setup and loop thing. All right, so our servo motor, we have to go to here, Barnabas Robotics, and then you find servo. Let's put it in setup. Okay, now you have to put a pin and an angle. All right, so if we do the setup one, let's look at the pin. What pin do we put? Well, let's look. Okay, if we look at our board here, we plugged into servo 9, actually, servo 9. Okay, so that means pin 9. So pin 9, wow, look at that. Perfect, pin 9. Now angle, remember servo can go from 0 to 180. So right now it says angle 1, you could put 0 here. You could also put 180. Okay, remember that the servo is going to move like a windshield wiper, back and forth, but only half a circle. All right, so this thing will move like a half a circle. The chopstick can move half a circle. Now, right now, what position is it at? I have no idea. So this is the fun part of robotics, guys. We need to test it and see what angle this position is. I'm just going to put in 0, guys. I'm going to put 0 here and then see what happens to the stick. Is it going to stay there and that's angle 0? It's already at 0. Maybe. You might think that, or maybe it changes. Let's see. So the way we do that, guys, we got to click upload to Arduino. Let's click upload. This little thing comes up. You know what? Let's put my name. I'm going to put Coach Ed Magic Box. You can name it whatever you want, really. This is if you want to go back to it later. Click save. All right. Now it's uploading. It's uploading. And it says done. Oh my goodness. Did you see? It moved down. It moved down slightly, okay? So, here. Make sure you guys can see this. It moved down slightly, so you know what? Let's do... What happens if I do 30? It should move up slightly, I think. Okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. It moved up slightly. Now, what if I wanted to move half of a circle? So that's a quarter of a circle. Maybe you're doing some math there. Well, a half circle is 180. Half of 180 is 90. So I'm going to put 90. Let's upload that. Look at that. 90. Looks pretty close to 90. Now, if I keep going, this is going to hit right here. Okay? Which that might not be good, but let's, you know what? I'm curious. Let's go a little more. Let's be a little dangerous. I'm going to put 100. It's going to keep coming back. Oh, a little bit. Okay, that's not too dangerous. You know what? The max is 180. I don't want to do 180 right away. That's just too scary. So I'm going to do 130 and upload. Oh, 130 is like all the way over there. I think 140, it's going to actually hit it. Let's see. Oh, it didn't even hit, but it's so close. All right, let's see what happens if I do 160. Okay, it hit it. Oh, it's like trying to... Okay, let's put it back to 140. It's like, I don't want to break it. Okay, we're back safe. All right, okay. So I kind of see that if I put about 140, it will open all the way. And if I put 0, this will go all the way back down. So watch, I'm going to do, or not 9. The angle, let's put 0. And it goes all the way back. So now I know, for me to open is 140, okay? And to close, it's going to be 0. So let's try this. Okay, so that's at 0 right now. So I have it close. I'm going to change angle to 140. Let's see what happens. You ready for this? I'm going to upload. Check that out. It opened. And then if I want to close it, I'm going to put angle 0. Okay, so what do we have here? We have a situation where the chopstick went down, but this stayed open. I don't really like that, you know? How can we fix that? Well, if I want it because I want it to close when I put 0. So maybe what I can do here is maybe just open up slightly and then it'll close. Because if I open up too much, it like gets stuck. It kind of gets stuck all the way. So maybe instead of 140, I do like 90 or something. Okay, so let me try that. So I'm going to put angle 90. So I'm going to open it, but not all the way. I'm going to do 90. Okay, it opened, and hopefully now if I put 0, this guy will close. Okay, not bad. It doesn't close all the way. Maybe I could put a weight on it or something, but not bad. So 0 will close, 90 will open. All right, so before I move on, I do need to tell you guys, your motor, okay, your numbers might be different from mine because think about it. If you put the motor over here on this side, your numbers are going to be, if this motor is opposite, like flipped, like a mirror image, then your numbers might be flipped from me. Maybe for you, 0 is open and 90 is closed. I don't know, right? Or what if you put, remember the white coupling and the chopstick? If you position the coupling on a different way, it could make the whole thing totally different too. All right, so I want you guys to keep that in mind. You're going to have to experiment to figure out what angle is open and what angle is closed. All right, so for me, 0 is for open, or sorry, 0 is for close, and 90 for open. Let's make sure 90 is open. Okay, let's see. Yes, 90 is open. All right, and then 0 to close. So keep that in mind. Your numbers might be different from me. Step 1 is to figure out what angle is open, what angle is closed. Okay, it closed, but then, okay, there we go. This little crease here needs a little help. All right, now let's make it open for 1 second and then close. So this is how we do this. So when we first start up, it's going to go 0, delay. So delay saying I'm going to wait here for 1 second. So I'm going to stay closed, then I'm going to open. Sorry, I'm going to stay closed, then I'm going to wait there for 1,000 milliseconds, which is the same as 1 second. And then I'm going to get another servo. So you can put a bunch of servos, as many as you want. Pin 9 again. And to open is 90. And then I'm going to say delay 1,000. So let's look at our code here. When I upload, it's going to close it, wait, close, and just stay closed for 1,000 milliseconds. Then it's going to open and stay open for 1,000 milliseconds. And then let's close it again. All right, so it's gonna be closed, opened, and then closed. So let's put another, oh, not here. and then close is 0. All right, let's upload, see what it does. It should wait 1 second, open, and then close again. I like it. I like it. Okay. Okay, now, what if I said, you know what, I want to play with this. I want to make my thing a little like Cookie Monster or I don't know what it is. Some kind of box monster. I want it to open and close constantly like it's talking to me. How am I going to do that? Well, there's a loop thing down here. So what setup does, whatever you put in setup, remember what I said in the beginning, it's only going to run one time. It's going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 blocks, and then it's going to stop. Now, if I want it to go over and over again, I have to put this stuff into the loop. And then that's going to keep going over and over and over again. So let's try this. All right, I got something interesting. All right, so you know what? I'm gonna speed it up. What if I want it to just go like open, close, open, close, open, close? I'm gonna reduce my 1,000 milliseconds to 500. Okay, all right, he's going. Okay, now let's do some more. I'm gonna go faster. I'm gonna do 50 milliseconds in between. So the reason it's speeding up, right, is because it's the amount of time I'm waiting between open and close. I'm making it smaller and smaller, so it'll end up faster and faster. Open, close, open, close. Let's go. All right, so now this is just ridiculous, right? Look at that thing. It's trying to. Okay, so it's kind of going crazy. I think 50 is too much. It's too small. I'm going to do 100. Maybe that'll help. Okay, so also kind of crazy. Alright, kind of silly. Alright, so that's not really going to be what we want for Magic Box. Here, let me move this out. I'm going to clear them out. Okay, great. So we know how to use the servo. The last thing that I want to show you guys today is we can actually use the button. Okay, you'll notice there's a button right here. There's this white button, and that's actually the reset button. You can use that reset button. We can program it so when I press the button, it opens, and when I let go, it closes. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to use this setup and loop thing. Okay, if you remember, setup runs only one time when the robot turns on. Loop goes forever and ever. All right, so what the behavior that I want is that when I press the reset, when I press the reset button, it opens for 1 second and then closes, and then that's it. I don't want it going crazy like open, close, open, close. I just want it. I press the button, it opens for 1 second and then closes. So how do I do that? And I want it to do constantly. Well, here's the thing, guys, and this is part of being an engineer. I don't have any additional buttons here, but I'm thinking I can get that to happen by just using the reset button. So what does the reset button do? Okay, what does the reset button do on the Arduino? Well, it resets the computer. So when you press reset, it's just like you turned it off and turned it back on. So what part of the code runs whenever it turns on? Is it loop or is it setup? A loop, it runs over and over and over again. But the setup, it runs only once and it only runs when it turns on. So what if I put code inside setup that tells it to open for 1 second and then close? Then that means every time I press the button, it will do that code. Okay, maybe kind of confusing. I don't know. Let's try it out. All right, so this right here, I'm going to say this closes it, right? Yeah, 0 is close. And then, so actually what I want is I want to start it as closed, okay? And then I want to open it. So when I press the button, I want to make sure it's closed. Then I want to open it. And then I want to keep it open for 1000. And then I want to close it. And actually, I don't need this anymore. So I'm going to make sure it's closed. Then I'm going to open it. I'm going to keep it open for 1000 milliseconds, which is 1 second. And then I'm going to close it. And then that's it. I'm going to upload this. And watch. This should work. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. So it went ahead and did that because I just uploaded it. Once I upload, it runs the code one time. It's done. Now, let's see if my button works, shall we? Okay, so if I press this, if I press this white button, this code right here should run. Let's try. And it totally worked. Watch. Okay. Now, okay, so now my robot, if I press a button, I'm able to make it open and close. Not bad, not bad. As an exercise this week, I want you to see, can you make this when I press the button, the reset button? I want this to open and close 2-3 times. How would we change our code to make it do that? Okay, I want you to think about that. Or if you want to, instead of just open and close for 1 second, make it do like the crazy, open and closing of the mouth, like really fast monster thing. But I want you to spend some time experimenting with that. So once you have this working, we're almost done. Next week, what we're going to do is we're going to add a sensor to it so that it can not just open when you press the button, okay? Not just open when you press the button, but that when it senses you that you're near. All right, so that will be the last part of this little mini project. All right, that's all I have for you today. You guys, have fun with this. So at this point, we have a box that opens whenever we press a button on the Arduino. Not bad, not bad. So we only have one more week left. Next week, what we're going to do is connect the sensor to it so that it can see an object and open whenever an object is in the way. So we'll get to that next time. For now, I will see you next week.